The World of Cinderella by Stephanie's Crew.
Long ago, in a stardom far away, a merchant, his wife, and their daughter lived happily together. One day, the merchant's wife fell ill. She called her daughter to her bedside, saying, "My child, I am dying. I wish to leave you this doll which my mother once left me." She kissed her daughter on the forehead, and shortly after she died.
The poor girl was left an orphan, for as they say in Greece, when a girl loses her mother, she becomes an orphan. When her father remarried, the orphan's stepmother saw the beauty and kindness in the girl and became jealous that her own daughters were ugly and cruel. She set about to making life miserable for the poor girl.
The girl had to clean the heaping piles of stinky, slimy salmon. Her clothes and skin always smelled of fish.
She was not given a bed to sleep in, but told to tend the fire always. After spending years near the fire, her skin became scarred and scorched, and her hair burnt and fried. She went without any beautiful beads or new leather, and often there was not enough food for her at meals.
One day, Magical Speckled Bull said, "Reach into my ear, and you shall no longer be hungry." Pulling out a tablecloth full of food, the girl was so ever thankful as she never went hungry again. The girl grew up to be a beautiful young woman. The day came when the king decided to hold a ball in hopes to find a bride for his son. Cinderella longed to go, but her stepmother said, "You, Cinderella, though you're covered in ashes and soot, you long to go? If you can sort these 2 tubs worth of beans from the ashes, in the next hour you may go." The girl broke into tears, for the task seemed impossible. As she wept, she cried, "Mother, oh mother, Bathala, creator of the earth, and to speed my ancestors, hear me and help me, please." The girl felt the wind ripple across the water. When she looked up, a beautiful woman stood above her. "I am the spirit of the forest, the faithful garden of all that live and grow here. Do not fear, for your cry has been heard and your good deeds are known." And with that, she called to the spirits of the world to help the young girl. Though even after her chores were done, she was not allowed to go to the feast. As soon as her stepmother left with her daughters, the girl ran to the magical bones of her fish and wept. "I long to go to the feast, but I have nothing to wear. Is there nothing I can do?" In an instant, she found herself dressed in a gown of azure blue with a cloak of kingfisher feathers draped around her shoulders. As she peered into her mother's sewing basket, she saw a glorious headdress, 2 exquisite purses bordered with coins jingled musically when she touched them, and she uncovered a wondrous silverless necklace what glittered off the sunlight.
On her feet were the most beautiful shoes she had ever seen. In India, diamond-covered anklets decorated with tiny bells. In Egypt, rose-red golden slippers. In China, golden slippers with a fish scale pattern embroidered with golden thread. In Korea, straw sandals. In Cambodia, golden sandals. In the Caribbean, elegant pink slippers embroidered with roses. And in France, a glass slipper.
Then a shining carriage pulled up in front of the girl, pulled by a beautiful white horse. She climbed up, took hold of the reins, and in the blink of an eye, she found herself at the palace gates.
When she arrived, the fiesta had already begun. All eyes turned toward the guest, and people wondered, who is this beautiful girl? The prince danced with her all night, getting her refreshments and treating her like a princess.
The prince said to her, "It's midnight, time for the Adi. They have asked me to perform the ceremony, and I want you to join me." She gasped as she remembered her promise to Godfather Snake to be home at midnight. She dashed away through the crowd.
The prince found only a shoe. Excitement grew as the prince's declaration traveled. "Tell every young woman of the land to come and try on the golden slipper. Plan a celebration, and the maiden whose foot fits this slipper will be my wife."
The pharaoh journeyed through the deserts and up steep cliffs to find the girl whose shoe he held. The longer he searched, the more determined he became to find her. He stopped at every landing along the Nile until he came to the girl's village. He ordered his palanquin bearers to join the festival and to find the girl with the missing sandal.
Each stepsister took a turn insisting that the shoe was hers. Try as they may, both sisters' feet were too large for the dainty glass slipper.
At the top of the stairs, Grandmother turned Cinderella's legs back into the beautiful gown. The girl said, "No, Grandmother, no more magic," and the gown disappeared, replaced by her legs once more. As the prince saw her, he knew this was the girl he had been searching. And as her foot fit perfectly into the shoe, he told her, "You are as beautiful this moment as you were at the ball last night."
Suddenly, all of the scars and soot vanished from her body. Her beautiful black hair grew in long and glossy as the raven's wings.
The stepsisters pretended to apologize by helping her arrange her hair for the wedding. But it was a trick, and as they jabbed the last magical hairpin into her head, she turned into a beautiful bird and flew out the window.
The bird visited the prince every day until her stepsister had a cat killed the bird and buried it where? In time, a persimmon tree grew at an amazing rate. When an old woman picked the only fruit that the tree bore, the young girl was brought back to life.
The prince was so pleased, and the two were married. Villagers from all around were invited to the celebration, where a great feast was held. Her father was overjoyed, and her sister became a servant in the queen's household.